Let's go! Who's up next?
Welcome, Internet, to the Xbox Empire podcast, part of the Play Some Video Games Network of podcasts. I'm Elaine. Donnie's here. Gamescom is happening. Things are popping off. It's a good week. It's a good week to enjoy video games. At least I think it's a good week to enjoy video games.
Our penultimate episode.
This is our penultimate episode. I love that word, but I don't love having to use it for this situation. But I am excited about the future still. So there's a lot of feelings. I have feelings and emotions about this, Donnie. I have feelings.
Sure.
Fine. I have a therapy appointment next week. We can unpack my feelings.
I need to send everybody a reminder that we're supposed to record this weekend.
Oh, right.
Before it gets too far out of the barn.
You'll have to let me know what time. I actually have to show up with my hair not disheveled and 4 cups of coffee in me. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry. You get to see Saturday me.
Certainly.
That's a different human being. How you been, dude? You got 2 drinks. You got the what? What's happening over here?
The fun drink.
Is that rum and Coke? Break it
then
down for me.
To hydrate.
I like me a bubbly water.
Yeah.
A bubbly water. I'm rocking my donut mug. It doesn't play well on camera, but it says, abs are great, but have you tried donuts?
Nice.
That's my whole mood. My whole mood. No matter how much I exercise, I like donuts too much, y'all.
This is my, if everything goes according to plan, this is my last drink for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my big commitment to getting healthier as I turn back the podcast rotation. So
yeah.
I've started dieting, started exercising. I'm going to cut back. Definitely not forever. Don't get me wrong. I like drinking.
We're different. That's okay. That's
no,
all right.
I like drinking. There's nothing wrong with drinking.
I liked drinking too, but it did not agree with me. It was not good for me. So I
want to shed some weight, get a little healthier and stuff,
it.
and then I'll reintroduce it back in.
I'm proud of you, my friend. Is that a rum and Coke? It
is a rum and
full
Coke.
Octane Coke? Because it's your last one, like real Coke.
It's Coke Zero.
That's not. If it's going to be your last one for a while, why wouldn't it be a regular?
It's the only one I've got. It's the only one I've ever
Wow.
gotten. I've drank Diet Coke and Coke Zero for a decade.
It's a fun fact about me. I don't drink that much soda anymore. I drink a lot of seltzer. So when I do drink soda, I drink full octane. I will have a Coca-Cola once in a while, once every couple of months. It will be a regular ass Coca-Cola in a can that is very cold.
Sure.
It's like a treat. It's like eating a candy bar.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. I'm trying to be a grown-up.
You got me out on the soda stream.
Right?
That was new to me, which I love.
I love that thing.
Plowing through those carbonation things.
Do you have a Target? Because that's the best deal. So if you exchange the carbonation things at Target, they give them to you for a cheaper price.
They do the same thing at Walmart.
They do it at Walmart too? Okay.
Yeah, that's where I've been going because I got a Walmart right across the street.
That makes sense. My Target is the closest.
Yeah, but I'm getting them in 2s.
Yeah, me too.
So I go through 2 of them and then I go pick up 2 more.
So what I have is I have three cartridges in the house. So when I install the 3rd one, that's when I go swap the other 2 out.
I am wondering.
System.
I got the cheap little machine. It's all plasticky and stuff, and I'm wondering how long it'll last. I'm wondering if I should upgrade to a fancy one.
I have the relatively cheap one, but mine has 3 carbonation levels on it.
Oh yeah, no, mine has one.
Oh, yours is so I have the middle model, I think, and I like having the 3. I usually do the middle, but every once in a while I want all the bubbles.
I'm sure mine is the manual machine. It is you push, the harder you push, the more
Mine is electric. I just push the button and it does it. It's
so
great.
This is gonna. My belief is it's gonna wear out at some point.
Sure.
A washer or something's gonna go.
Sure, I think.
So I'll have to get another one.
I think that'll happen to me too, because ultimately, you're creating pressure, and pressure just wears things down, right? Even if it's an electric box. So
exactly.
But I drink seltzer all day. I add a little juice to it, and I feel fancy. I feel fancy because it's bubbly. What else has been going on?
I had a rough weekend, which I talked about on Sweet Hang, so I don't need to talk about that here. But outside of that, I've been playing some games, a little bit. Yeah, I played Ghost of Tsushima.
I installed that on
Yeah.
my PS5. That I oh, by the way, I realize this is an Xbox show. I don't care. We'll get to the Xbox.
Yeah, who
news.
cares?
It's the penultimate episode. I don't care. I got the dark plates for my PS5.
Yeah, you did.
I tweeted, and it's all so sexy. It's like I'm very attracted to this box now. So then I booted it up for the first time in a while, and I installed Ghost when the patch came out and the director's cut. So I bought that. And that's sitting. I was supposed to start it like a day or two ago, but there's some stuff going on in my personal life, so I just haven't had the mental capacity. But that's my next project. I would like to pet the foxes.
Yeah.
I'm told you can pet the foxes and cats now.
And deer
So
and monkeys.
Really? You can pet all of them?
Yep, I think
It's
so.
like oh my god, this is so exciting. I'm gonna pet all the animals. I don't want to kill the people. Well, okay, I do want to do samurai things, but I also want to pet all the animals.
I didn't realize you could pet all the animals. I'm taking Haley's word for it. She said you could pet the deer.
If she says it, it's true.
When she said it, the first thing I thought of was the first time I ever saw a deer run by me. I totally just sliced that dude in half.
You monster! What is the matter with you?
I'm just, it ran into me and I was like, what is this doing here? Just
No,
done.
why would you? What? Donnie, we need to talk. Like, you're a sociopath. If you're listening to this show, I would
you're
like
not wrong.
you. If you're horrified by this, could you please just tweet Donnie at Eat the Hype just a gif of your horror at the fact that he's just slicing deer?
You
in
should
half?
see how I play Infamous.
You're a monster. He tweeted that, and I'm just like, get out, get out! Murdered just a poor man singing on the streets. Jeez. You're a
But
monster.
Ghost, I got into Ghost to play the DLC for about, Dev was right. Hashtag Dev was right.
But Dev is always, he's often
Played it for
correct.
about 3 hours and I was like, I've had enough of this. And I uninstalled the entire thing forever. I'm done with Ghost.
I don't
So-
think that's the game for you, dude. I just
Oh, and I firmly disagree.
really. You're
Yeah,
done with it?
I think there's a lot of things that are great about Ghost. I think Ghost is a great game. But, I played it for about 25 hours too.
Okay.
In a lot of ways, it's extremely similar to Batman or Creed.
Well, sure. They're all the same kind of game.
Yeah, they're all the
ultimately,
same
right?
kind
I mean,
of game.
come on.
It's got its own quirks with, like how it controls. It
Mm-hmm.
takes an adjustment to getting used to, and then like its unlockables and the things that it hides behind behind progression
Sure.
takes some getting used to as well. I ultimately just think it means. I ultimately just think I don't care. I don't want to say I don't care about samurai stuff. Because I don't want to go that far. That's like rolling off like an entire genre.
You don't
I-
want to play a long, extensive game of samurai.
No, I do not care about Jin and the story in this
You just
game.
don't like the character?
Yeah, I
that
really,
what it
really
is?
just the story that this game is. And it's not that I don't like it. It's like just not caring. It's like dismissive.
That's fine.
I'm like, I really don't care. Like I'm trying to skip through everything. I'm like, I just, move through it.
That makes me sad. I'm excited to play it because this is very much my jam, like in setting and period.
Oh,
and I'm very
so
excited for that.
With that
stuff.
TV of yours,
Oh baby.
it is
Oh,
one of
baby.
the most beautiful games
Oh,
I've
baby.
ever seen.
Just
Don't get me
the
wrong. There's a
title
lot of things that I like about it. It's a lot of fun. It
Yeah.
just, like the sword combat, it's a bit too. Try to think of the right word. I don't want to sound condescending because I want Devin to argue the other point like in the chat.
He's going to. It doesn't matter what you do.
it's-
but
It's kind of precise. It feels
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a samurai, like you're a ninja, and it's very intentional. I kind of like just bashing dudes in the
oh,
face.
okay, fair enough. This is
You
like
know?
this is like a lot of the conversation that happened around The Witcher 3 when The Witcher 3 came out. And if you play it at certain difficulty levels, you do have to play it in a very particular intentional way
Yeah.
that a lot of people didn't like because they just wanted to cut things. And I'm like, well, there is a difficulty level for that and it works well. I like that kind of animation and that kind of like precision. I enjoy that. It's why I actually like some of the stuff like Dark Souls so much. It's not just hard, it's precise. So
And then
I'm
I think you'll
excited.
love Ghost.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think you'll
very
love it.
excited.
And it's
Very
not
pumped.
that's not the reason I don't like it. It's not like one of my favorite things to do when you get a certain stance is you can like charge up like a side kick and kick the shit out of people right in the
Mm-hmm.
face. And it's like if I could just do that a lot more, I'd be really into this game.
I mean, I do really enjoy.
But it's like, no, use your blade and like spin around and
Sure.
like, hack and chop. It's like, man, like in Valhalla, I love.
Well,
I have the charm power up, whatever, where you grab the person by the head and just headbutt them in the face. Like
yes.
more of that, more of
Well,
that big bruiser energy.
yeah, you want a brawler. You almost want
Yeah,
something like
elbows, kicks. Like let's
that's
break stuff.
that's Viking shit, and
Yeah,
that's perfect for you. So
and
that
I
works.
think
You have
I
your
think
game for that, right?
in
Yeah.
so many ways, Valhalla and Tsushima are very similar in a lot of
Sure.
ways. Like in sort of like macro map game type
Hmm.
of level, right? They do a lot of similar things, a lot of similar progressions. Even like, I do wish, one of the things about Tsushima that I really like is they have, I don't even know what they're called. I think they're called shrines. So they have like shrines, not in, like the Zelda sense of the shrines, but like they
Hmm.
have like these puzzles, like these platforming type
Oh,
puzzles.
interesting.
I wish the rewards for those were better.
Okay.
I won't say what they are, but I wish I was more incentivized to do them,
Sure.
and I wish there was more of them.
Oh, so you enjoy those specifically?
Oh yeah, those are some of my favorite things, and it's just I do think with Tsushima, it's just a lot of like outpost combat. Like
Yeah.
here's a traveling party combat. Like is one of the things that we talked about this with what's that other Assassin's Creed game, the Phoenix Rising.
Oh,
And then we
Immortals,
talked
yes,
about
yes.
Valhalla, like how much I get into in Far Cry. We talked about as well how much I get into like those environmental puzzles
Okay,
and
so
like
the
just getting
Tomb Raider
lost, like
tombs.
trying to find stuff.
Yeah.
There's some of that but it's not nearly the same or nearly as complicated. Like I found some stuff, like I could squeeze between a waterfall and stuff like that, but like it's not as elaborate. And I think that's what I'm kind of missing. It's like
Okay.
it's just a lot of combat,
That's
so
that's
after doing
fair.
so much combat, I'm like,
I really really love this kind of setting, and I like an open world game. I like a game that I can either follow the story or decide to get lost. I don't really care about what I'm getting lost to find sometimes. I just want to see what's there. So I don't have as specific of gates on that kind of experience. Like for Tomb Raider, the tombs were the best part for me.
yeah, same.
But for The Witcher, it was the character interactions and the writing. So it's
And like
different
Dying Light,
game to game.
the things in Dying Light that gets me are trying to figure out how to get into those safe
Right.
houses, those keeps. I'm trying to like
I liked that in Far Cry as well. The bunkers. Those were
bunkers.
really
I
fun
went
for me.
nuts. I went bananas
Yeah.
for those bunkers. And I think it's a thing, same thing. Like when you talk about these map games, like Breath of the Wild, like I love shrining.
That's fair.
It was a
That's fair.
really great like. Okay, I've played the main game and I've combated for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm kind of a little bored. I want to do something else. And here's this other thing you can do. I didn't feel that a whole lot with Ghost.
That's fair. It's funny because like open world game to open world game, the specific thing that I latch onto is different. Like there's something different in each game. It's not always
Sure.
the puzzle. Some games, like straight up in Valhalla and Odyssey, it was the combat. I just enjoyed beating the hell out of people. In
Yeah,
those games, and it was very
Valhalla
satisfying.
really hit with me. I really
It was
enjoyed.
just fun. It was fun to beat the hell.
I
I
just
didn't.
jump in the middle
Oh,
of,
so
they're like, "Hey, do you want to sneak in here and get it?"
No,
Absolutely
I want
not.
to punch you. Like when I played as Cassandra in Odyssey, like she's my favorite lovable meathead. I didn't want to sneak around. I wanted to walk in and punch dudes in the face with this
Yeah.
woman character, and it felt good. It was cathartic. I'm excited to see what grabs onto me in Ghost, because every game it is a little different. But really, the draw for me in this game, and the reason I'm so excited to finally play it, is that setting is very like evocative for me.
Oh, they
I'm
crushed
very
it.
Excited. Yeah,
crushed
it's
it.
beautiful. So it's
Oh,
this
it's
is-
gorgeous. I like
you
the side
played?
stories in Ghost
That's-
more than the main story. More than like Jin, I like the side characters.
That's so true of almost every open world game, right? Like I liked that stuff
can
in
be.
The Witcher a lot.
I don't
was
feel
like,
the same way about Valhalla.
I agree. I think the writing and the side stuff was not as good in Valhalla, but in
It's just kinda
Odyssey, some
throwaway.
of it was better. Yeah, in Valhalla, it was like almost. I don't want to use the word lazy, but it wasn't as interesting.
Tsushima has a
Odyssey.
story of this old lady who like lost her family,
Okay.
which I'm totally here for. Like I did her
Yeah.
entire tale. I was like, she's awesome. This is cool.
Yeah.
I could
I
use
like that
more of
stuff.
that.
I liked that stuff in The Witcher a lot because I think they nailed like some of the little it would be a little throwaway quest and it would lead to this whole long story that you could get lost in. That was good stuff. So
Cool.
excited. Have you played anything on your actual Xbox? I have to ask the question.
I beat 12 minutes.
How did you feel? So people have told me there's some content in 12 minutes, and I don't want you to spoil it.
It's not
But
content.
They have used the word gross to describe some of it.
Maybe I would agree with that. Like generally, yeah, my wife was like, "Ew," but I mean, it's not like it's.
Is it like horror?
I saw
gross?
Haley post some reaction. I've seen some similar things on Twitter, and it's like
I saw some in another Discord I'm in, and I'm just asking to try to get a sense. Like, I want to play this game, but I don't know exactly. Like, I don't want to ask people to tell me what it is, but I also don't. I don't know. Like,
have you seen Old Boy?
No.
The movie?
But I can look that up.
Old Boy. This isn't too far from like Old Boy's kind of setup.
Before we go further, if you don't want to be spoiled on the content,
I'm not going to say it, because if I tell you, that's going to spoil it. Like, literally, I could say one word, and that's basically the entire part of what you're figuring out in the game. So I'm not going to do it.
No, don't say it.
But I'll say this: it's taboo.
Okay.
It's not normal. It's not like something that comes up in a current.
Okay.
But at the same time, like, I've seen plenty of movies and TV shows that deal with the subject matter. It's not like it's some, how dare they? It's not like, you know, rape or something. Like, it's not that.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just asking to get a sense in my mind.
And even then, like, not that I condone rape, but like, that's a subject matter. It's a theme that, like,
games have done that. Media
is not out of It's not out of, you know, acceptability to venture into that. That's a part of life. Like, if anything, I always look at those things. I like those things that push the edge. I think it's a part of. It's not a part of, but I think it can be a good use of media to bring people to awareness of
to a
things
conversation.
like this.
I agree. That's why I want to play this. I've wanted to play this. One, it's my jam in the way that it's structured. Two, it's got a pretty great cast. And three, when a game evokes this response in people, then I have to know. It's like when
Dano brings up Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I bring up like the Borgias.
Okay,
if
so
anybody's
Dano
ever saw that.
Dano in chat said, did those same people saying it was gross see Game of Thrones every week? So that gives me some sort of basis of level. I can handle. I get an idea.
I don't think it's that bad. I honestly.
Well, even better. I took
it in stride, but you know, maybe that makes me a monster.
Did you like 12 minutes?
Not really.
Why?
I really like point and click adventure games. I have one particular issue with this one that I think hurts it more than other point. Like some of my foundational games, I always say Clock Tower was one of the first games I really was into.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of my foundation of gaming's come from point and click adventure games. I think that's why I've always been drawn so heavy to narrative games. Because to me, like, Clock Tower is very much in the same vein.
Yeah.
12 minutes is very interesting. It's very good design, but I've got a lot of issues with it. The number one being you have to do. I'm trying to dance around spoilers. I'm not going to say anything about the story. I'm not going to say anything about the story. To progress the game forward, you have to do steps 1, 2, and 3 to unlock step 4.
Okay.
Then you have to do steps 1, 2, and 3, and 4 to unlock step 5.
So
and then you've got to do step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
No, I get it. Whereas there are games that have done this, but they've let you fast forward back to the point almost. You know, like there's better ways to handle it. How long would you say your playthrough was with this being like
2 or 3 hours?
Oh, it's short. Oh, damn. Okay. All right.
So here's what I did. I tried to get as far as I could on my own. I think I got pretty far. I actually got an ending on my own. It wasn't a good ending, but I got an ending. So then I looked up like how to get the actual ending because after I kept trying to figure it out, I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm just going to look this up. So I looked up a guide and I was like, okay, so let's see this through.
Okay.
Then once I saw the ending, I looked into like, there's like 6 other endings.
Yeah.
I basically just read a synopsis of them and called it a day.
I was going to say I would watch a YouTube video of them.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, I'm not going to keep doing this.
Like, for example, when I played Life is Strange, there are 2 endings. Did I pop a save, do a thing? No, I watched the second ending on YouTube.
Yeah, I did
That's
the same.
What adults do. We're too old. We don't have time.
So the endings are, most of the endings I would call are somewhat like inconsequential, kind of throwaways.
Sure.
So they're not like rewarding endings. Now, I don't want to say rewarding in a way that makes people think that it's a happy ending. I think a lot of people, they don't get the ending they want, so they don't like it. You know, but the ending that a lot of people don't like does tie it up. You know, it just doesn't do it in a way that I think a lot of people want it to. But it does.
So, like, a lot of games do this. I mean, it's unsatisfying for you, but it puts a bow on the story. Okay.
I don't think the marketed names in the voice acting add a whole lot to the game, to be honest with you.
I'm not surprised by that information. Almost without like what Beyond Two Souls did with like the actor being characterized in the role, it's kind of hard for
This
those
might
to
be
matter.
less than that, though.
Yeah, well, Beyond Two Souls actually put their faces in the game.
Yeah.
You can connect to the actor that way. It's hard when it's just a voice. It doesn't matter.
Danos has a good amount of repetition, but even like in the voice lines, sometimes you'll just get lines. Several times I would get lines that felt like they just didn't fit.
Phoned in?
You know, not phoned in, but like you would respond and you would kind of get an answer. You'd be like, that doesn't seem to
well,
make
you didn't want.
sense.
That's not the answer you felt like, or the tone you felt like you should get
Yeah.
back. Okay.
And
okay.
to be honest with you, I think more than anything, I think the time invested just isn't worth the story that you get out of it.
Interesting.
Ending and everything considered, I was like,
Okay.
well, that's kind of, I mean, it's something. It's just not a whole lot of development.
I'm going to play it because I want to experience it. I also installed Psychonauts 2, which is hit Game Pass.
I installed it as well.
I'm going to hit 12 minutes and I'm going to go right through. I'm excited about Psychonauts 2.
It's pretty obtuse. If you're going to try to go without a guide, I will tell you that it's rather obtuse.
I'm going to tell you this. Given what you just said to me, that's the kind of game I would just go into with the guide open, because
I would recommend
it saves me the time and frustration of the tedium. And then I get the experience I kind of want to have a little bit more expediently. And I know there's lots of people who are out there who are like, oh no, not the first playthrough. It's a 3-hour story-based game. I'm not here to beat my head against it. I'm here to see what it wants to tell me.
There were several times before I pulled a guide, there were several times I'm just like, I feel like I've done everything. And
Right.
obviously I haven't, but like that's the space that you're going to be in, because it's
Right.
like I'm clicking, I've put this cursor over everything in the scene.
I would rather just have a guide bring me through the story gently than get to the frustration point and then look it up, because that
So
makes
some
me
of
want
the
to quit and do
things-
something else up.
Some of the things that you need to activate are like kind of out of view.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
You struggle with that, you know. It's just like, come on, really?
yeah stop
I
fighting me.
can't even see this.
Stop fighting me on this bullshit. Like, let me play your video game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go into it with a guide. That's actually good intel. Did you hit anything else this week?
I'm playing Golf Club Wasteland on console.
Yeah. When is
So
this out?
I beat it on PC.
Is it out
I have
next
it on
week?
console. It's out next week, September
baby.
2nd, 3rd, something like that. I should know the date.
You should know the date. You're very
I think
excited.
the
about
embargo's
this.
the 2nd, so I think it's the 3rd. I'm not sure.
You're killing me, Smalls. That the third would be Friday.
It's because I've
So
already
that
played
makes
it, right?
sense.
It's in this weird space where it has this long embargo, so I've already played it, and now I'm playing it again on console. Like, just seeing how console works, it works great. Obviously.
good.
It's a small game.
Excited.
The other day, I turned my surround sound to max, and I turned that game on, and my wife, she's like, "What are you doing? Why are you blaring this techno music?"
Oh, perfect! I'm so excited.
I turned all the lights on and everything. I mean, it's great. I really like the little indie game. Again, not because of the golf club, not because of the golf gameplay at all, because
of the writing.
what it's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that discussion of that. I'm excited for that. I'm gonna play that next week.
I think I'm gonna give a copy away
Okay.
because they've been so nice to me. They gave me the early access, they gave me the dev build, and then they're like, "Here's an Xbox key," and I'm like, "I'm gonna buy a copy of this game and just give it away." Okay. So I think I'm gonna buy it for Xbox because that's the easiest console, you know, to buy codes for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna buy a copy on Xbox, and I think I'll just throw it up on Twitter. I wasn't sure. What do you think we should do?
I don't know.
We could put it out on like PSVG, but like, hey, here's a code. First person that does it, or
Let's
I
think
could
about
just
that.
put it up on Twitter.
Let's think about that. We'll think about it. We'll consider it. Yeah, you could just put it on Twitter. I mean, people follow you on Twitter. I won't steal it. How about that, y'all? I promise everybody else. I will buy my own copy.
It's only $10. Yeah, it's
$10.
super cheap. I'm hoping people give it a try. I'd like to see it on Switch. I think it's right at home on Switch, but I've yet to see a Switch version.
Is it coming on Switch at launch?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Same day.
might pick it up on Switch.
I have no
Guys.
doubt that it'll run.
Yeah, it sounds.
Cannot
like it'll
say
be
the
fine.
same thing about Edith Finch,
Oh yeah.
which I bought on Switch today because I got an alert that it was for $6, and I played it for about 15 minutes, and I was like, nope.
There's enough rendering in that game that I wouldn't want to play it on Switch personally.
Yeah,
just wouldn't.
It's not awful. It's your only way to play,
Yeah.
but it's not great, and it's like
it seems
it
to be
feels like you're not playing the same thing. You know, it's like this isn't the same thing that I played.
And I loved that game. I have very
Same.
strong feelings about that game.
Same.
That game did things.
It was my first Annapurna joint,
Oh, gotta buy them all now. Gotta
Yeah.
catch them all.
basically.
Gotta catch them all. I spent my last couple of weeks dipping in and out of that Ender Billy's game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost at the end. I got the first ending that you can kind of get, but then there are some other bosses that you can tackle and some other things you can do to get a more kind of, let's call it a true ending. That game remains very satisfying for me. I feel really good when I beat a boss in that game. Like, I feel real good. when I beat a boss. So, unbelievable. Y'all are ridiculous. I haven't played anything else really. I've been just kind of poking at like, that kind of stuff. I did install Ghost and 12 Minutes, so those are my projects for this week. I'll report back next week on both of those.
Very cool.
Report back.
Last show.
Yeah. Last show I'll have impressions of a PlayStation game. That'll go well. That'll go well for me. It'll go well for me. Let's see. As a reminder, we'll do this now. Reminder, next week's Empire will be the last Xbox Empire, and there will be a new podcast kind of taking over it. We're calling it Play Some Video Games, and there's gonna be 4 of us. I'm still running the nightmare bus to hell that this podcast will be, but we'll be talking about everything that way. So what this has evolved into kind of over the last couple of months, we're just going to stretch that evolution into all the games and all the conversation. So keep an eye out on Twitter for the new show. Subscribe, give us a shot.
Link is in the details in the show notes of this episode. So if you're listening to this very episode, just scroll down and click the link and subscribe to the new show.
Yep. There is an episode 0 up there where Donnie and Dev chat about the show and what it's, the whys and what it's going to be. And then episode 1 will be the 4 of us jokers in one place, or me and 3 jokers. I'm not a joker. I'm very serious business. I'm very professional on this podcast network.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not. I just have the good intro. That's all I got. All right, let's do some Xbox news, because this is supposed to be an Xbox show, and Gamescom is happening, and there has been a lot of Xbox news, actually.
Yes, there has.
So let's start with Halo. Let's talk about Halo first. Boy, has it been a ride with Halo over the past 5 days. So Friday afternoon,
5 years.
343, and yes, that's also true.
I'm not
Let's
wrong.
Just go with the last 5 days. You're not wrong. Friday afternoon, 343 and Xbox shared what I would call disappointing news about Halo Infinite, although I don't think it's surprising news about Halo Infinite. So here we go. The co-op campaign and Forge will not be in the game at launch. The campaign will be in the game, and multiplayer will be in the game, but you cannot play the campaign co-op, and the Forge creator stuff will not be in at launch. For a lot of people, Forge is a huge deal. For me, co-op campaign is a huge deal. I'm very disappointed by that piece of information. Co-op is scheduled to ship in Season 2 and Forge in Season 3, so that's even worse. They're just going to keep stretching this content out over... Boy, this game's had a rough ride.
When do you think we'll have a complete Halo Infinite video game to play?
1 full year after launch.
2022, 2023?
Yeah, I think mid next... all right, let me not even be that rude. Let me say mid next year. Let's say April or May.
Okay,
guess.
early.
Maybe even June.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere mid-year, halfway through.
Sure.
I guess the head of creative for this game, Joseph Staten, he talked about the why. What did he say about the delays? What ridiculous excuse did he give, or reason? Excuse me.
Well, he did say that they're focusing on quality. That was the first thing. Is we want to focus on the quality of what we are actually launching. But he said on the co-op side, we have the opportunity to play campaign all the time in this wonderful open non-linear take on a Halo campaign. Obviously we've been talking about that since we've seen it. It's a little different than what we're accustomed to. Well, that comes with some challenges when you think of how to do a co-op experience. How do you do saves? How do you do progression? Does everybody progress at the same time? Is it just the party leader? Do they progress? We've seen different games do this differently. Now, to push back, we have seen different games do this already. So it's not like they're cracking the nuts. It's never been done before.
This is not that new.
But it is new for Halo, I guess. Yeah.
Destiny has been doing this.
Ghost Recon.
This has been done. This has very much been done. I just want to
Division.
They're pitching any open world campaign based multiplayer game has done this in the last couple of years, and it's gotten to be a huge thing. And this game is launching a year later than it was supposed to. I'm just saying, people's disappointment is real here. And this maybe doesn't ease it too much. Just going to say that. So, I mean, look, I want a good Halo game. But you and I have talked multiple times about how important this game is for Xbox. Because it's kind of a big deal.
It's on the box.
And to not have it launched complete after a year delay.
After the delay.
It's a rough look.
after the delay part is the part that I'm going to focus on. We've seen a lot of
Yes.
influential people, both in the Xbox community and outside the Xbox community, that have taken to their social medias to create content urging them to delay the game again.
They cannot.
I'm not going to do that. I don't think
They
it's.
cannot.
I think that's a severe reaction to
Yes.
this, but I think it's a huge disappointment, and it's a huge. They've dropped the ball, and at this point, I'm starting to wonder, like, how much. Why? I want to say how much faith can people still have in it, but I also want to ask, like, why do people still have faith? Is this just an endless hope because they like Halo? Because if this was any other game, and we've seen other games like this, like, usually when we see these sort of things happen to another game, like, people, I don't think are as excited. Remember I told you a couple weeks ago, I feel like there's a groundswell for people to want this game to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're trying to will it to be great. Well, I don't want to. Yeah, so let's. Today they had opening night live at Gamescom.
Let's finish this.
Yeah, Jeff Keighley did his thing, and we got a multiplayer trailer for Halo. We got some cool new products, which we can talk about in a minute. But this game's coming out December 8th.
Yes.
When this game was, when it was announced and it leaked that it was coming out December 8th, in Tom Warren's chat, in Wario64's thread, in some of the Xbox community people, there were people that were furious. You know why? Because it wasn't going to be available to be considered for Game of the Year. That's a real thing today that people are angry about, and it's like that's irrelevant.
This happens every single year with December games, number 1. 2, let me go back to your point, because I want to address it before we go down this rabbit hole further. There is no game people more associate with the Xbox brand than Halo.
Yeah.
That is the actual crux of this issue. It's not that people want it to be good. It's what they associate the brand of gaming products with. And so for it to be a disappointment feels like a blow against the console. Whereas I think the consoles itself and the brand have many legs to stand on and don't even need this game right now. That's my opinion. But people's association of Halo that's what Xbox is. That's the first game I played on mine, and that's why this is a big deal. It's that association, that very strong link. It's like a Mario game for Nintendo to a lot of people, and it's tough. It's the game for a lot of people.
100%. And because it's that game, and because of where Xbox has been first party for a while now, and because of how strong they've gotten with Game Pass and their new console, I think to a lot of people, they were hoping that Halo was the cherry on top, like the drop the mic moment for this. And I don't think it is.
No.
Like, we have so much evidence, like, this game appears to be coming in hot. You know why it's launching December 8th? Because they're giving themselves as much possible time.
Here's the thing. They're doing that
before they release this game, and they're delaying. We're talking about a delay of a core function of Halo.
50% of the content, the core functionality of the Halo box collection, like product, is being delayed. Forge and co-op campaign are huge deals. That's half the game product.
When I was going through Halo the Master Chief Collection solo, the thing that I used to always bring up when I would bring up my opinions on that game was, I have never had the sentimental Halo experience,
right,
where I was at a LAN party and I played with my friends, or I played through the entire campaigns and the story together with my buddies. That is the experience that is Halo. To the Halo fans, that is what they all think of. I can tell you, because as somebody who's played every Halo solo, every other Halo fan has told me I'm doing it wrong. Like, very few people have been like, yeah, that's the way to do it, Donnie. Like, it's never happened. Everybody's you need to play it with friends.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because I was the person who went through the campaign solo and then the campaign with people, but I understand where people land on that, I guess. But I don't know that you did it wrong, but
okay. Well, I mean, I'm just, being dramatic to make an effect. I mean, most people always say, like, you got to play it with friends. Like, I played it with my friends. My best memories of Halo are playing with my friends. I was there on Halo 3 launch day with my I stayed up all night long.
I did that.
We wired 5 Xboxes together. Like, that's the story of Halo. Yeah. And that's not the story for Halo Infinite.
No, it's definitely not going to be. The story for Halo
it's not going to be.
Well, I guess it depends. If your Halo experience is multiplayer, even without Forge, you can still have that.
Yeah, you can still have multiplayer. That's why
so it depends.
It's not severe to the point that I would delay it, but that takes. It's funny because I saw several popular Xbox folks that were like, "I just want the campaign to be good. I just want multiplayer to be good." And it's like, but are we jumping to a conclusion that it's gonna be? They're like,
I don't know,
because I've seen a lot of people. They're like, "Don't delay the game because the campaign's gonna be great." It's like, are you sure? At this point, I'm not sure about anything regarding Halo.
I think the multiplayer will be on point. I think the campaign could be a hot mess. I think it's disappointing for content creators that Forge won't be in it because people use Forge for a lot of things. And content creators use the hell out of Forge, and Forge is great, for that. I'm real disappointed about the campaign co-op because that is, for me, I really enjoy playing the game that way. Will I play the campaign on day one? Yes. Will I replay it when co-op comes out?
Ooh,
yes.
will you though?
Yes, I will. I will.
December 8th.
Yeah, I will.
That's the day after Dying Light comes out.
I know that, but I will start Dying Light after I finish this campaign. These campaigns are not more than, they're 10 hours, maybe 15.
It was interesting because that was the first thing I thought of when I saw the date. I was like, well, guess what? Donnie will not be playing much Halo at launch.
Dying Light, I will spend more hours with, so I will play the Halo campaign before I start it.
Unless they win me over, because here's something else that didn't happen. We didn't get a campaign trailer.
No.
We've still yet to see it. We got another multiplayer trailer, which looked fine. It has a cinematic. It wasn't even a lot of gameplay. But at this point, that's not what I was wanting. And I'm sorry if I'm asking for too much or if I'm being entitled, but I was sure that we would get a campaign trailer when they got their Halo Infinite ball rolling.
We are 3.5 months away from this game launching.
I know very little about this game.
We know nothing about this campaign.
Nope.
We know nothing, and that's a problem for me. But I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna still play this campaign. I see Dev in the chat saying Halo first, and not because I have more fondness for Halo, but when you give me a shooter campaign, they're short. Even Halo, I'm gonna.
It's so interesting, and look, I realize that I'm in the minority, but the part of me that really wants to say this out loud, because I feel like it needs to be said, there are so many other games that have shown us so much more, that look so much better, but everybody is still just going, but Halo. And it's like, but when do you stop saying, but Halo?
Well,
like, how bad does it have to get?
I don't know that it's, well, that's the problem. We don't know. This campaign could launch and be very
It could be great. I hope it's great. And if it is, then I'll start playing it. But I mean, it's like, you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's the Forza fan in me, which looks fucking stunning. But nobody seems to care. And it's like,
I do.
That's the game that we should all be going gaga over, not more Halo.
Some people just don't like racing games, just like some people just don't like shooters. Like, there are people who are like, screw Halo, I don't want to play another shooter. Just like there are people who are like, I don't want to play,
I'm just thinking, I'm speaking globally in terms of the marketing, the trailers, the concept, like what we've been shown, it's earning your investment.
Yes.
Like Far Cry 6.
It's
Forza,
not
Dying Light. Like, these games look great, and it's like, what does Halo look like?
It's not the flagship Xbox product though, and Halo is. That matters. That matters. That sells copies. That sells Game Pass.
Or it matters the opposite way.
Well, they'll sell the copies and make people mad. And then maybe people will be like, "Screw Halo, I'll buy Forza."
It can matter the other way.
All they have to do is get people on Game Pass with Halo, Donnie. It can be a freaking flaming hot mess. It's gonna be.
I don't want to be a Halo hater. I feel like in the sea of optimism, somebody needs to have, like they're delaying major features of the game. The game is coming out in December. Everybody was like, it'll be
November.
It'll be shortly in 2021. It'll be early summer. It'll be on the anniversary. It's got to be. That's why they're waiting. They delayed it a year after. Like, Lane, what was this game like a year ago?
It was a broke-ass mess that you said didn't look that bad.
They've been working on it for 6 years. What are they doing?
I don't know. All right, I just want to be clear. Clearly, making video games is hard. I'm not slighting a dev.
Of course it is.
I don't know what's happening.
That's the thing that I hate about this conversation is everybody can go, it's hard, it's COVID, and I get, and you're absolutely right. Everybody's right. But here's the thing. other people are doing it.
I know.
Call of Duty's showing up. It looks great. Battlefield's showing up. It looks great. Like, they have every resource. They have every extra studio. They have extra support studio, every extra contract.
So
this isn't the Coalition that gets 25% of what 343 gets.
What that says to me is this thing has been a flaming dumpster fire for a minute.
It really does.
And
it really
they're
does.
trying to put it out and ship something that will work.
They're trying to patch it together.
Here's my thing about
I wish them the best.
Here's my thing, and here's the reason I'm going to play this game on day one, even if it's broke. I have a fascination with playing games like that have gone through this kind of cycle on day one and when they are finished. The Master Chief Collection is a really good example of this. That thing launched as a dumpster fire too.
100%. And they turned it around. It's pretty awesome.
But it took them a long time.
And it hurt them to do it.
And this is the same exact thing that's happening again. This is the same thing. They are doing this again. They're doing it again. But
so Yard and Angel says 343 is so horribly mismanaged at this point. So the first point that I was going to bring up, and I don't know if this is reactionary or.
Oh boy.
But
gird your loins, kids.
343 should probably have like new leadership, new faces, new voices. Like, I know they put Joe in, and I think that's been helpful. I think since he's come in, he has turned the ship. But like at this point, after a year delay, and things are still not there,
I know.
and it's like, doesn't somebody kind of, I don't want to say take the fall, but I don't think it's taking a fall. I think somebody needs to be held accountable. Like, this doesn't happen to most games, especially most games with this amount of investment and resources behind it. What's going on? It's got to get fixed.
I don't know. Does it? So this feels like they're going to let this be the last one.
Ooh.
That's what this feels like to me. This feels like burn it out, get this thing out the door, fix it as much as we can, and maybe we're done making these games. Because if you wanted, if you wanted to keep doing this, you would do what maybe Destiny has done, and evolve how you manage the game and how you deal with your tools. And Sean's making a good point. You haven't played the game, can't be too harsh yet. My issue is not
let me ask you
quality
this.
Of what's launching.
For somebody that hasn't played the game, can you be too optimistic then?
Yeah,
because
there's a 50-50
on my end,
yeah.
I feel like I'm seeing a lot of that. You remember when the beta? You remember when the beta came out? You remember I played it? You remember what did I bring up? All the things that Paris and Tom and Jez and everybody was saying. Oh my God, it's incredible. You remember what I said? Halo 5's multiplayer was incredible.
It was.
Halo 5 is not considered an incredible game.
It has a very awful campaign.
I feel like there is this rush to anoint it. Because they want it, and it's passion. They want it to be great, and I want them to earn it first. Let's have them prove it first.
I think we need to look at what Halo has become. Halo is a multiplayer game that has a campaign. Halo is what Call of Duty is now. It has evolved to that point. Most people who boot up Halo might not even play the campaign. I bet you when we look at achievements, when we look at achievements. So yes, if people see the multiplayer and are saying that, that's because that's the part of Halo they care about, and that's okay. The problem is that you and I are campaign players mostly, and so we're not like there's people,
and
who want
as
the
Sean
multi
points
and they don't
out
care.
that he's concerned, but he's not being too harsh. Maybe I am. I will own my bias here. I'm not a Halo fan.
Well, that's unfortunate because that means you're going to lean more into them on it, right? And I
don't think so. I really liked Halo 4. And I've been told that that's not popular.
No, it's not popular.
So,
4 and 5
I would tell you, I don't want it to not be good. This isn't like some self-righteous, I told you so.
No,
I'm just saying that this game has been in the works for years. It was the flagship supposed to launch the console. It's on the box. They delayed it a year. I want to say they delayed it again. It's not coming out in September or October or November. It's coming out in December, and it's coming without core functions of the game.
Chunking out 2 really big pieces of it makes me feel concerned. That is concerning.
Yeah.
I hope, though, here's what I hope. I hope that the multiplayer that they do launch gives people who love that aspect of Halo exactly what they want, and I hope that the campaign is good for me.
I think the multiplayer will be fine.
The
I think
multiplayer is going to be amazing.
They nailed it with 5. I can't imagine that they screw it up. Like, they've done it with Master Chief Collection for years. Like, I can't imagine a world where the Halo multiplayer isn't good.
For probably 85% of the Halo fan
That's all
base,
that matters.
That's enough.
Yeah.
And that's
you're
enough.
right. You're right. And in
and
that
I think
regard,
we need to look at it that way.
And
We
to
do.
paint my little, I don't even know what you call it here, just my criticism, like Halo doesn't need to be a 10.
It just
I've
needs
been
to be
saying that
Halo.
all year. It just needs to be good.
Actually, it just needs to be better than what 5 gave us. If the multiplayer is on par and the campaign is better than 4 and 5's, it'll be fine.
I'm just a little concerned at the amount of hype
Let people have it, though.
based off of what we're getting.
That
Based off of the breadcrumbs that are happening to launch.
I told you, though, those multiplayer flights were enough for most fans, more than
That's true.
85%. I think that's the thing you got to remember in your head. Most people
Is that
are
it's
not
multiplayer?
It's a multiplayer game, and that's what people love about it, and that's people's memories and joy. Primarily.
It was funny. I mean, we've got Sean in the chat. Like Sean and I, we had a discussion a few weeks ago where he was like, "Is Halo cool again?" And I do think it is cool again. I think people are like, I see it. There's like a collective want.
People are
like
excited.
They want it to be great.
Yeah.
I see it across like almost every channel and podcast that I look into. They're putting a lot of optimism and hope into it. More so than I expect for like one game for like a particular platform. Like I said, I think it's like kind of like a crescendo. They want it to like a Xbox is back, like kind of. I think that's kind of what's going into this.
Yeah, because it's the game. And I think if the multiplayer
I just hope they're not setting
good,
themselves up for disappointment.
I think if the multiplayer is good enough, it'll be enough. I really do, and I will stand by that. I think if the campaign is at least middling.
But did that work for Halo 5? Because wasn't the multiplayer good enough? But everybody hates that game, right?
No, but people hate the campaign, but they're still playing the multiplayer. That's all that matters. Who's still engaged in it? You know what I mean? Who's
I was thinking like in terms of its legacy and what it meant.
There is that to discuss, but I think that's
I'm going to talk about like people always play it, like every game. People always find, and I'm sure there's lots of people still playing Halo 5. I meant no disrespect in that regard, but there is kind of like this collective opinion on what Halo 5 meant and did to Xbox.
Sure.
And it's like it kind of hurt them. Hurt in some momentum with them. And I think I've heard from a lot of people that said like Halo Infinite cannot be Halo 5, for example. I've heard that opinion often.
Interesting.
So like if they nail the multiplayer but the campaign isn't great,
all the campaign
is it Halo 5 again, or
no? Because Halo 5's campaign was actively not good, and so was 4's. All the campaign has to be is middling, like 90% of the way to older Halo. And it'll be fine.
Like, just kind of like comfort food Halo campaign. Yes, you're good to go.
4 and 5 were problematic for me from a campaign point of view, and I loved 1, 2, and 3. So
cool.
If they can get anywhere near the original trilogy of campaign, it'll be all right. It just needs.
If it makes you feeling better, Jack is over the moon. He is so excited. He was trying to tell me about Halo modes today.
Jeez, let's hit that really quick though. Along with all these announcements about Halo, we did get a Series X Halo console. It's very sexy. It's black and gold and gray.
It's gorgeous, Elaine. It's got like the armor plating. It's like gold. It's got the gold logo, and then it's got the sparkly. Is it like space?
Yeah,
like the flakes across the top.
Yeah, like metal.
I'm not sure if you saw, but the top is blue, not green.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Beautiful. It is one of the prettiest consoles I've ever seen.
And they also launched an Elite Series 2 controller, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Did that. And I think that means we're not getting a 3 for a minute, y'all. I do.
It might.
We are syncing back. We're going to stick with the 2. It's green. It's got the Master Chief look.
It looks like you would expect in a Halo Elite controller to look.
It's not enough for me to spend that money and trade in my all black. I like an all black, but it's if you love Halo, it's a pretty sexy little controller too.
Yeah. So, I thought we'd get a themed controller. I did not think that we would get an Elite, because I thought if we were getting Elite, they would have announced it already. But so I was I don't want to say shocked, but surprised to see the Elite show up. But the fact that it showed up as an Elite 2, and then I went, oh yeah, well that's why.
Yeah,
because they didn't upgrade the controller.
It's going to be a minute before they go and do that again, I think.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. But I just wanted to touch on those
hey,
hardware.
As I've said before, the share button's not good enough to really.
Right. I told y'all.
Doesn't matter.
I told y'all. Just the Elite Series 2.
I was excited for the share button. I'm glad they did it, but
it's bad.
But the way their share button is not as good as other share buttons.
No,
so
sorry, Sony and
doesn't really
Nintendo.
matter. Get the Elite controller. It's just a better controller.
It's so good. All right, let's hit some other stuff. Let's talk about. We talked briefly about Psychonauts. It's gotten some very, very good review scores. It is now on Game Pass. I have a lot of love For the original game, the Xbox Drive, our friends over there have done a review of this thing and have had very warm, fuzzy, positive things to say. This is on my to-play list immediately, and I'm excited.
Yep, I downloaded it. I got the patch. I'm going to start it probably tomorrow.
I'm going to do 12 minutes, and then when I'm finished that playthrough, I'm going to go right into some real joy for me, I think. Also, out of the blue, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, not Valhalla, the Greek one, with Cassandra, one of my favorite characters maybe ever, has received a performance patch that gives us 60 frames per second on next-gen consoles this week, PlayStation and Xbox. I know lots of folks have booted it up to check it out and say it feels real good. So
where's Far Cry 5, Ubisoft?
They don't care about you, Donnie. They don't care about you.
They do not. And it sold more.
I know.
The game that sold more.
Because they're working on Far Cry 6. Leave them to finish their video game. Calm your butt, all right?
They're working on Valhalla, too.
Calm it over there. Simmer down now. All right. So there was a Gamescom stream, and Donnie lost his full mind because we got a new trailer for Dying Light 2, and that is out.
It looks so good.
It looks real good.
Unlike other games that are being delayed modes left and right out of it, like Dying Light 2, again, the game that you and I were like, I hope it runs well, looks so good, Elaine. It looks so good.
I'm afraid still, Donnie, to get excited, because I am excited. But
this is what I'm talking about.
I'm afraid.
Nobody's afraid of Halo, though. Nobody.
I have the fear. I have the fear about Halo, too.
For like 9 years. It's been worked on by 8,000 people.
Focus. So this looks great, and we're both excited about that. They showed World War II plane racing coming to Flight Sim. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Why not?
I'd taken these notes as fast as I could write them.
Age of Empires gave us some nonsense, but no gameplay.
Oh my!
They
talked about Catapult. What the hell is going on?
I was pretty mad. I mean, here's the thing about Age of Empires, though. It's going to be Age of Empires gameplay, y'all, with high resolution. Chill. It's going to be good. It's going to be
yeah.
The biggest deal of this stream for me was the discussion of console streaming that's coming this holiday. So there'll be a cloud icon on certain games. You can then they're going to start testing it in the fall. 1080p 60.
Yep.
Just like the cloud stuff for PC and mobile devices. And the newer gen of games will be streaming to your Xbox One series of consoles in the future. This being dropped makes the Series S an incredibly compelling holiday box.
For sure.
Incredibly, at the price it's at, and it has limited storage, this is a banger for that box. It's very exciting.
Sean tells me all the time I should take credit for opinions that turned out to be true. I've been saying this since before Stadia launched.
Yeah,
this particular. When everybody was talking about the S, when the S was announced, actually, I said that this was going to happen. When we were talking about cloud streaming for the first part, I was like, they're going to turn it on all of our old Xbox consoles, and nobody believed me.
And they're gonna, and that's great. And
I was like, your One S, your One X, you're going to be able to play Halo Infinite and Forza on those, and like I've got our One S, and
my kids have my old One S and my One X. I actually might pick up a Series S for my living room because of this. I might finally just make it my media box. I might do it. I might do it.
To interrupt our little stream, so Jack wants the Halo console, and I don't blame him.
I don't blame him. It's sexy as hell. Yeah.
If I hadn't already fabled my Xbox, I would have gotten one of these.
You did.
But when I first saw it, I was like, I'm not going to get one because I've got the Fable one. And then I showed it to Jack, and he told me, I don't want the Pokemon Light. I don't want anything. He's like, we can trade in my Elite. We can trade in my Gears. It's my Gears console he's using.
Yeah.
But he's like, we trade everything we have. I want the Halo machine.
Wow.
So he really wants the Halo machine. So I think I'm going to take I have the Gears 2 terabyte 1S.
You going to keep it?
I'm going to keep it. I'm going to put it in my bedroom, I think. And it'll just be like if I want to stream a game in a different room of the house. Or if I travel or something, like I'll bring it with me.
Man, you should just sell that damn thing and pick up an S eventually for that purpose because it's smaller.
But it's Gears. But it's Gears. It's red.
So
but it's Gears. If anything, I would buy an S and I would put the 1S on my shelf.
Yeah, that's also a thing you could do.
Yeah.
I want an S because first of all, it could be a media box. It could be my Netflix box.
Yeah, sure. That's what I use mine for.
So it would replace a Roku
DVD players.
it would replace a Roku that I no longer like it's old and outdated, and it would let me stream games. So I might just like make a questionable decision the next time I see them pop up on the
I love the
internet.
fact that you can not only can you stream games to play them, but you can stream them while they download.
Yes.
So you're no longer having to wait if you got, like I always pre-install everything, but if you, I'm sure we all find a game there, and when, we didn't have we didn't want to wait.
Yeah, we
So,
just want to play it now.
just start playing.
This news is a big deal, and I'm glad that they did this at Gamescom because this is the right thing for them to say going into the holiday that they're doing. So that's very exciting. A bunch of other games got some updates and expansions. Wasteland, State of Decay 2, stuff like that was shown. It's not the biggest deal to me, but it's exciting. Let's see. They showed, Psychonauts trailer. They showed some other games like Crusader Kings 3. They showed the Gunk, which looks very good.
It's coming.
Fun. It's coming. It's happening.
December.
But like, they also showed the Forza Horizon 5 cover and this hot new controller that we both pre-ordered like a bunch of idiots because it looks like, okay, I listen
Best
to
controller. Best
listen,
Xbox controller. Sea of Thieves has been dethroned.
I listen to a lot of electronic music. This looks like my Spotify playlist vomited all over it. Like, this is what that looks like. I can hear the bass beat looking at this thing. It's yellow. It's got pink and blue.
It's translucent. It's got the paint splash across the
popping
side.
I'm
It's got
very
those
excited.
pink and blue buttons.
Oh, it's so sexy.
Those custom buttons with the offsetting sticks. It's got mad Pokemon Sword Shield energy.
It does. It's got pink
mad
blue.
Rage 2 energy. It's got mad Far Cry New Eden energy.
That translucent yellow is the Death Stranding controller yellow too.
Yeah.
It's got that I peed on the controller look. I'm sorry,
but
y'all,
it
kind of does.
It's loud.
It's so obnoxious. I'm so pumped.
But it's so unique, and it looks so damn good that I was like, I need another controller.
I pulled the trigger on it because my only controllers for this box are I own. I basically just own black ones still. So
I thought you got the red one.
No, I never bought the red one. I pre-ordered that Galaxy blue one. So I'm gonna trade in a black one or give it to my kids. I don't need it.
Sure.
So it's fine.
I've got the black one, the white one, my Elite one, my Fable one.
I have an Elite
both
as
my
well.
Gears ones.
I mean, I have lots of older Xbox controllers. This is just the series controllers. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the black and the white one and the Fable one.
I just have a black and the.
If we're gonna get Jack this console, which I still can't find, by the way, chat. If anybody sees a listing go up, I prefer to get it at Best Buy.
Okay.
But if I'm gonna get him this, that means I'm gonna have to sell a Lite and probably 2 controllers at least.
I have danced around that Pokemon Lite that they just announced quite a few times. It's very
he wanted it, and that was going to be his birthday present, and then this happened, and he's like, "Dad, I want the Halo one."
So. Let's hit the rest of the So there was a Gamescom Xbox stream, and then there was what they were calling Opening Night Live. And Opening Night Live is kind of all games, and there was Halo stuff at it. But let's hit some of this stuff because they are rebooting Saints Row. I'm very excited about this. It is dragging Saints Row back to the gameplay closer to 2, but with the visual style of 3 and 4 and the graphics and sort of some of the combat stuff there. It's very exciting for me. I'm very pumped about that.
Saints Row 2 is my favorite. That was the one that got me into it.
3 is
and
my favorite.
I'm very happy for like the city building, like neighborhood racketeer stuff to come. I think I got into Saints Row from like playing definitely like old GTA, but like old Godfather games.
Oh yeah,
where they had a lot of those similar like build a racket, take over the city, like manage your mafia, your crime family stuff.
Do you remember the insurance fraud mode in Saints Row back then?
Mm-hmm.
That was really where you throw yourself into traffic essentially, and that was really fun. And I don't think that's in here, but like that was a 2 feature, I think. 3
that has me way more excited than. I mean, I liked 3. I didn't like 4, but this has me more excited than anything else. It's just getting back to that.
But I'm excited for more Saints Row. I like playing those games. They're fun.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Tell me what else was at Opening Night Live. Why don't you talk?
Oh boy, I can't tell you about this. Marvel Midnight Suns. I totally owned up to it in the Discord. This came on. I saw Wolverine, and I literally went, "This is Avengers," and I just stopped caring. And I didn't even pay attention. It wasn't until like after they showed it, and then somebody on Twitter was like, "It's an XCOM game." I was like, "What?" I didn't even realize it was a different game.
Yep.
I was like, "Oh, so this is a Marvel game of dark characters with XCOM combat."
This looks fun. I'll play it.
Sure. I won't, but
I know, but I would.
I have reached such saturation for superhero stuff at this point. I hate to sound like Martin Scorsese and those folks, but like I'm getting there.
Sure.
I've reached that level. It's like, okay, guys, we get it. Superheroes.
Right. I mean, I'm kind of saturated too, especially like
There's so much of it. It's every TV show. It's every movie. It's every video. It's like, God, let it rest.
I'm trying to be more selective about what I ingest so as I don't get so fatigued that I just eat all of it. So that's I will play this because I like this style of gameplay a great deal, and there aren't that many games that launch with it now. It kind of went through its renaissance, and then
that's a good point.
It's quieter now, so I'm just going to play it for the gameplay. I don't care about the what else did we get? We got some Call of Duty. We always get Call of Duty.
We got Call of Duty Vanguard. It finally got gameplay. So we talked about this in Discord earlier. I think it goes without saying, if you're going to talk about this, you have to mention like everything that's going on at Activision. It's a dumpster fire.
You sure do.
There are lots of people that are choosing to not buy anything related to Activision, which I would 100% support.
I understand. Yes.
I'm not doing that. I'm not committing to buying Call of Duty. I just personally don't think that, I don't think if everybody that is aware of the issues at Activision stop buying their games, I don't think they notice, to be quite honest with you.
It's a moral principle thing for me. I will Redbox said video game.
I might buy a used copy just to try and stick it to the man.
I would like to play the campaign. I will Redbox the video game to play the campaign. Yeah. It's more of a principles for me thing than an effective change thing.
That's
how I feel about it.
On getting Call of Duty. I usually get Call of Duty every year. I am a campaign player. I do not multiplayer. I do not Warzone. I do zombies though. I like some zombies sometimes.
Zombies is fun.
Yeah.
Zombies be fun.
I wasn't planning on getting this one. I don't think I am either now. Not because of the Activision thing, which is why I wanted to bring it up. Just because the fall lineup is stacked. There's so much to play.
It's so much.
I'm already starting to pare back some of my pre-orders. I'm like, I'm not going to play these. So this one just kind of isn't in there right now. Also, last year's was so short that I don't want to say it burned me because I enjoyed it a lot, especially like a new console. But it was so short that I was like, I shouldn't have gotten this day one.
They are Redbox perfect games. They
are
the campaign in 2 nights. You really can, and it's like $4 or $5 to burn through the campaign. It's perfect for me.
That said, the gameplay they showed today looked awesome. It looks so damn good. All the Wolfenstein vibes you could think of.
Yeah,
but like
Nazis.
To the nth degree of visual production, which is the thing that I always say about Call of Duty when it comes to their visual fidelity and production. They really have like no rivals. Like they are incredible.
They also put on a campaign that is a big movie spectacle. Like that's just what they do, and it's really
big
impressive.
Set pieces.
Ryan in the chat said I literally had to create a spreadsheet to track
all
the games as well. So I do this actually every year, and I keep a tab on the same spreadsheet, and then I mark when I buy them or pre-order them. So I'm a nerd that has a
I just realized that I started getting to the point where I was getting 1, 2, 3 games between 10 or 12 days of each other. Like there's no way. There's no way I can do all this. So I started pairing them back to like an appropriate pace. Like I'm still going to get to them. I'm probably going to play this Call of Duty game. And that's why I honestly just want to be upfront honest about the Activision thing, because I know a lot of people are doing that, which I support. If you don't want to do it to voice that, I actually support you. I think it's an admirable thing. I just know that like at some point I'm going to play that game.
Yeah, I will play it. I think I should be clear.
I don't want to be a hypocrite.
I don't think it's all about causing them financial hardship so much as it's a matter of principles. I know that my not purchasing probably isn't even going to matter. They don't even care.
It's about just kind of.
I believe feel good about me too.
I believe in voting with your wallet.
Yes.
To me, it's strictly. I don't want to go. I'm boycotting Activision, and then in March when I play Call of Duty, you go, "What a hypocrite!" So I'm going to be honest with people.
People should also know there are ways to play video games that don't directly give their company money. I'm not talking about privacy. I'm talking about renting and buying used, and those.
I'll probably pick up Call of Duty used. I will tell you that with all the Activision stuff, it definitely played a role in my Diablo plans. Diablo was firmly in my plans, and I canceled my pre-order, and I will get it used one day.
I will probably pick it up, a used copy of it. I will buy it, but I will buy it used.
But this game looks real.
I'm excited. We also got Shredder's Revenge, which is that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing, coming in April.
No. April is a playable character.
Playable character. Oh, yeah. April's the playable character.
It's just coming sometime.
There is no date.
They still haven't. And there were some folks in our Discord saying it was going to like stealth launch today, stealth drop, or maybe like a demo. I wasn't going to say that they're wrong, and I'm definitely not. But when I was seeing that speculation, and it wasn't unfounded, there were like Reddit leaks and rumors that were talking about the same thing. Having followed Dotemu with Streets of Rage so much, they had a lot of issues. Like I just wouldn't expect anything soon.
Yeah, next year. I would say next year. Yeah. Speaking of next year, in a game that's just freaking been, to be played, to be released forever, Lego Skywalker, spring 2022. That game was supposed to be out like last year. Like this.
I pre-ordered that game over a year ago.
It's supposed to be out. It was supposed to be out last year. It's blowing my mind.
Looks good, but
it's going to be a minute. They also announced a sequel to Jurassic World Evolution, November 9th for that. I enjoyed the first game. It was cool.
Yep, that one looks good.
They showed a game called Blood Hunt, which is essentially vampires but battle royale. Sure.
Yep.
September 7th. That's a Steam joint. That one's not out on Xbox. We got a Far Cry 6 story trailer.
Looked great.
Just give me the video game.
Inject it.
I'm very excited. They showed a new Tales game on Android and iOS, and I was like, son of a, I don't want a mobile.
You got Lindsay Sterling though.
But I don't want mobile Tales. I want more. Son of a. I'm not
Tales
mad.
of Arise.
I'm not.
Tales of Arise looks
I'm excited
great.
about Tales of Arise.
Oh, it looks so good.
Oh boy. And then they showed a Fall Guys Jungle Book collab. Sure, why not?
There was 10 other things. I had to go to the chiropractor. I did not write them all down. One of them was like a Pokemon MOBA.
Well, isn't that Pokemon?
It wasn't Pokemon. It was a Pokemon-like MOBA game that looked great, but yeah.
There was a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff has been shown. It was kind of it felt like a something for everybody. Gamescom did a good job, I think, for this.
Well, before we jump into questions and wrap this show up, we talked about two different streams here. We had Xbox's Gamescom stream, and then we had Jeff Keighley's opening night live stream.
Yes.
The opening night live stream was much more enjoyable than the Xbox One to watch.
Yep.
Yeah. The Xbox One, I think, had my favorite thing from it. We didn't really talk too much about the Forza Horizon trailer.
It looks so good.
Elaine, I said it on Twitter. I had to go all caps. I'm watching it.
You did. There was yelling.
I'm watching it on my screen, not even in 4K yet, like just as it's played, and I'm like, how are we not trumpeting this one? Why is not everybody talking about this one? Why are people not creating podcasts about this one? Like this game looks so damn good. Like better. We've said all the things, but like better than that though.
It's a big deal for me as somebody who plays every genre of video game available. There is not a genre that I will not touch at this point to say that game is my most anticipated game of this calendar year.
And I'm with you now. And I think I've always been with you, but like there is that fan hope within me. It's like, man, I'm really excited about Pokemon. I'm really excited about Dying Light. I'm really excited about Far Cry, but none of those deserve that honor, that distinction that Forza Horizon 5 does. It looks beyond incredible. Like I need a better word.
There's no better word.
Like it's reached a new tier of adjective.
If you were going to sit here and try to argue with me that you wanted, like there was another game that was getting more of your attention, I would say, think about how you react every time they show Forza Horizon.
Oh God!
Think about how you react, and then think about how you react to other stuff. Like, oh, I'm excited. Oh, Dying Light 2 finally looks good. You're not losing your fool mind.
No, I'm not. You're absolutely right. I'm not. Like when they had the
mind
plane and the car came down, I'm just like, this game is amazing. Like, why? Oh my God! It looked so good.
I have said this many weeks on this podcast. I'm saying it again. My most anticipated fall game, and the one I think that I have been anticipating the longest this entire year. I'm going to turn off all my lights. I'm going to put the music up real loud on the techno station in the cars, and I'm going to put on the neon ass pink and blue lights behind my TV with my stupid controller, and that is what I'm going to do for a weekend.
I'm with you. Dev's going to hate it on our new podcast, but
get ready. I couldn't be.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. I couldn't be more excited for this game. And that's just like, I'm not sharing that for Halo. And I think that I feel a little disconnected right now, but I also, not only do I feel disconnected, I'm wondering why maybe others don't. And I get it that not everybody's car guy. Like I get that part of it, but there's a part of me that's like, but the proof is in the pudding. Like, do you see what the hell is
Look,
happening over here?
here's
The
what's gonna
game
happen.
looks so damn good.
Here's what's going to happen. If people are disappointed by Halo, I'm just going to keep tweeting, well, then install Forza Horizon 5, though, because you got Game Pass. You
Put
got Game
Forza
Pass.
Horizon 5 on the
On the
box.
box.
Give me a Series X one of those.
I'm going to tell you that I honestly think the Forza series of video games should probably become their flagship product. Because I think that with motorsport for some people and Horizon for all of us goobers who just want to run through billboards, there's something here. There's something special in those games, something that I think they do better than Gran Turismo at this point.
I'm hoping that Forza Horizon 5 maybe is that crescendo that I think other people are looking for. And I think, and that's ultimately when I'm going off and I'm trying to make this, because I'm starting to lean more that way, and I'm like, I don't think people are realizing.
They're not ready, though.
They're not ready. Like, they're not like, they're all focused on Halo. They have no idea that, like, coming fast up the rear in a red Mercedes is this game that's about to blow people's minds.
Here's the thing. This is the first time everybody with Game Pass is going to get the little pop-up on day one that shows it on the dashboard and be like, oh, right, I have Game Pass. I guess I'll check it out. Get ready to have your hair blown back, kids. This game is going to be great. I'm saying it right now.
I feel like this is...
A car game is going to end up being my game of the year.
I'm going to say it.
That's what's going to happen.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And this is going to be blasphemy for every Xbox podcaster. If there is an Xbox Game of the Year contender, its name's Forza Horizon 5.
I could almost guarantee, unless they drop the ball so spectacularly on this product, that it might be my favorite game I played this year.
You know, they'll pigeonhole it into the racing game or whatever, but like this game, not only does it look a great Forza game, not only does it look like a great racing game, this game looks like a great video game, better than the rest.
It has the potential to be one of the better open world games this year as well.
One of the better one of the better examples of video game performance and visuals.
And the right amount of stuff to do, and the right diversity of stuff to do. You and I play these games completely different because we can.
Co-op.
Right, we can wait, on day one. We can
play together, Elaine.
Donnie, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Unless this thing is on fire, it really does have a potential to make it into my top games of this year list. Easily.
And I know
it could be my favorite game.
I'm not just hyping over Forza because I like Horizon. Going into this year, like our levels for Forza Horizon 5 from Jeff Grubb to now has been steadily increasing. But it started low. We were like, it'll be another Horizon.
Well, we thought it wasn't.
It's the thing that I hate so much when we're in our Discord and I see Kevin. He's like, Horizon's just Horizon. It's like, are you watching what I'm watching? Because what we are seeing is not another Horizon. This is better than that.
So this is a game that they did the marketing campaign on just right. They dumped where it's going to be. Then they showed all the driving through the different regions of the game and showed essentially something that looked like a TV show that was actually gameplay. They have showed trickles. Now this trailer, now the cover, now this.
And it's stupid bowling. They're like pinatas.
It's so dumb. They showed a perfect ramp up. This is what Halo did not do. They're not showing us anything. This Microsoft nailed it.
I think you're right. You might be right. It might just be the marketing, because the marketing has been perfect.
It's perfect. It's exceptional because they had a product that was ready. They knew exactly when it was going to launch way in advance. It did not get delayed. All the features are in, and they knew exactly how to run the marketing up. And I wish this was the game that was on the box last year.
I beg of you, I plead of you, listeners, if you listen to this show, if you write this off as another Forza, I'm telling you, this is a level. This is like Forza has evolved. This is the evolution of this is a leap forward for Forza. It's so much better already looking than 4 ever was.
If it can unseat 3 in terms of my sheer enjoyment of playing
I think it will.
If it does that, it'll be my game of the year.
That's my expectation at this point. From everything that I've seen, I'm like, this looks amazing.
If it unseats 3 in terms of
has there been anything that you've seen or heard that's made you go like,
no,
right? No, it all looks amazing. Every part of it looks amazing. It's like, just put it in my veins already.
Like I said, if this game exceeds how I felt about 3, it will be my game of the entire year. Easily. And it is, a car game.
I'm with you.
Kids.
I'm with you.
I'm
excited. If it lands, I'm with you.
Some people are excited about Halo. This is my flagship. This series has become my Xbox flagship series.
Well,
I associate Xbox with Forza Horizon.
I've said since we started Empire, I think Playground's their best developer, and a lot of people did not like hearing that when I first started saying it. I'm not saying it because I like Playground. I'm saying because they've earned it.
They make great games.
They've earned it.
Even with Forza Horizon 4 not being my favorite,
it was still stellar.
It was still amazing. It just wasn't as good as 3 for me personally. Like I said, if 5 unseats 3, game of the year, 2021, guaranteed right now. Nothing will unseat it.
To the point I wanted to make, the original point I wanted to make, Xbox maybe got to do something with these presentations. I say that as somebody who has said often to you, you've heard me say this before, that I like that they almost defiantly stick to their long form interviews and stuff like that. Like, I like that there's a place for that, but it's clear from the feedback that I see in our Discord and our socials and from the podcast reviews that this isn't hitting with people. It hasn't for years. It continues to not do so. So it's like, Xbox, you got to get on board here. Yeah, social media in today's, like, people don't have the attention for this. Get the news out of the way, do a little direct something up front, and then go into a treehouse long form. Let the people that are there to see the news drop off. You'll make them happier. I'll still watch. I'll keep watching.
Yeah, we'll watch.
I think it's like this, we can't do that because we have to have this engagement. Like, we want to keep these viewers. It's like, but you're making people mad.
I think that Nintendo
they don't
does
like
this,
what they're watching.
Nintendo does this very well, and that model should be stolen. They do it.
People were mad.
It was boring. Like, it wasn't great, man. It was boring. I'm sorry.
And it's so funny because, like, I want to shout out the Wasteland guy. I don't care about Wasteland 3 at all, but that dude was excited about his game, and I was excited to listen to him talk about his game. If you're gonna do this, then you need more of that.
Yeah, you got to get the right people, and that's the problem. So
too much throwaway filler.
Agree.
Yeah.
I hope that they evolve that stuff, and I think that they will. This one was a miss.
I feel like Jeff's thing was like twice as long, was way more fun.
Because it was popping off constantly.
With tons of games that I don't care about. Like, I think I missed 10 games that they talked about, not even on my list. I don't care about half the games that are on my list.
But they kept showing you more stuff. It was poppy. It moved. And that's something Nintendo does well, like the indie world stuff. I don't care about half the indie world stuff, but they move. And then when they really want to show you something long form, they'll do a treehouse or they'll do a specific direct.
Do something after.
That's smarter. So maybe, like, let's shake it up a little bit.
At this point, you have to wonder what, like, there's got to be a reason. I think the engagement is maybe the best theory that I have, but like Xbox is defiantly sticking to this. This is not new. They've been doing this, and like they just haven't bent.
I'm going to tell you that for a lot of companies as big as them, change is scary.
But they have nailed it at E3.
I know
they nailed it at E3. It's like, do that.
Yeah. I hope they learn from the difference in opinion here. If they look at this versus E3, I hope they go, oh, okay, I see now.
Especially when, no offense, but especially when here's Wasteland, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, like, we see those at every show, you know? Yeah. You got to get the headlines out of the way up front, and then, like, hey, if you want to know more about the Sea of Thieves update, stick with us.
But that's even something you could do in a press release on Xbox Wire.
Oh, of course. I'm not opposed to them taking the time to market their game. Sea of Thieves is huge. Sure. Yeah, but it's one of those things where you do a sizzle reel. New expansions are coming to this game. Yep. Stay tuned for details.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
You know?
It's too bad. But
did you care any about there was that Humble Games announcement. There's like 15 games coming to Xbox.
Humble is I think that's a good thing, because I don't care so much about those specific games, but I care about the partnership moving forward. Where Humble publishing,
good call.
I think that's what I care about, because I care about seeing Microsoft make those connections to dump new, very unique things into Game Pass. So
I don't think they did a really good job at marketing those games that way.
I agree, but also those are games that a lot of people who maybe are tapped in have seen before, and maybe are too niche for like the average. It's a tough spot to be in. For me, the excitement of that is, I'm glad they're working with Humble to bring new stuff directly into Game Pass. That's good.
Sure.
That should happen.
And hopefully we'll find out more about those individual games as they, get dated and stuff like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's wrap this thing up with some questions. We don't have that many, so we can probably do them all. Haley had wrote in to ask, can you help me get my hands on the Halo console? I think Donnie is over here going, I wish I could get my hands.
Somebody help me get one.
It's already hard to get a Series X, so this just compounds the issue 50%.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that were big mad about that today.
I wonder how long they're going to keep this in the console rotation. like how long they'll produce this particular unit.
Hmm.
With shortages being the way they are, I don't think they can get away with going just one run of these things. I think they're going to have to trickle them through the next year. I really do.
The optimists would hope that maybe they've been holding back.
I hope so too.
Is that
but
possible? I mean, we're close.
I hope so. I hope so. I just would like to see them probably produce these for at least 6 months, because it's just there's such a shortage right now that give people the opportunity who really want something special and who really love Halo. You know?
Yeah, it's a beautiful box.
Which other one? Which one do you want to hit next, Donnie? What you got?
TPR writes, in the spirit of cool ass special hardware, what has been your favorite special edition console you've ever owned, Xbox or otherwise, excluding decals, mods, and skins?
Stuff. Just a console. Awesome aesthetics out of the box. Yeah, that excludes all your stuff. So calm
all
down
my stuff. I was like, oh, so no fun for me here.
It's a toss-up for me. I own the Metroid Samus 3DS, and I really think that red is beautiful. I also own the Persona Q 3DS that looks like the book that is the Velvet Room book, and it's really, really cool, and I really love it deeply. So those are up there for me, personally. They're both DSs, but yeah. What about you?
I'm looking through a few ideas. It might be revisionist history, but especially because
you own that Gears one.
I do, and I love Gears. I do not own the gray one, which Sean does, which I am always been very. I think that's a better design. I love the translucent and the thing underneath it more than the red one. It might be this Halo one. I think this. Really? I'm not even. Everybody heard everything I just said about Halo and how I'm not a Halo guy. The thing that I love about this console is, I mean, obviously I know that it's Halo, but like if you didn't know Halo, you wouldn't even know that it's Halo, and I think that's what I love about it most.
I agree, but then if the game tanks, then you're just always going to look at it and think about what could have been, and I have a hard time with that personally.
One of the things that came to mind were two things that came to mind that right down your alley. Cyberpunk. I had that console and it was awesome.
Yeah, that was a good looking console, but every time you look at that thing, you're like, oh,
I got rid of it.
Yeah, because it's sad. It's sad.
The game is great, but it wasn't my favorite. But The Last of Us PS4 Pro was everything that I could have ever wanted. It actually is. We released a Last of Us cast a year before it came out. It was exactly what I said I wanted on that cast.
That design is really dope.
Yeah, I loved it, and but the game didn't stick with me, and I moved it. I was like, I can't keep it.
The other one I really like, and I didn't do it because I already owned it, but the God of War PS4, the gray with the gold etching through it, like the axe was really, really amazingly beautiful. And I love, there was a Monster Hunter World PS4 that was released, and it had the Rathalos on the side, and it came with a red controller. I picked the controller up and imported it from Japan, but I loved that Rathalos design on the side of that thing too. I didn't own it though, so I'm not counting it. I'm counting things I own. So
I had several 3DSs. My favorite one, including my faceplate model, which I guess doesn't count in this regard.
Nah, not in this one.
But my favorite one was the Majora's Mask one, and that's the one I got rid of, and I kind of wish I kept it.
I still own it, and it's beautiful. It's up there for me. It's my everyday 3DS, if you will.
It's a beautiful machine.
It's gold with the mask on it. It's perfect. It's very.
I nailed it, and I hate Majora's Mask.
I don't love that game either, but I really love that.
Least favorite Majora game, but maybe like most favorite art style.
I agree. At least in static images. I like the dark.
Yeah, just like the lore and like the just the style and the comics and everything that came out. Like Majora's art is the best in the series.
I agree with that. I like the Samus 3DS better because I really love that candy shell orangey red.
I've never seen it in person.
Oh, it's freaking beautiful.
I wanted it bad, and at the time I had the Hylian Shield one, I think. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can't get another one. And I didn't. And then I loved Samus Returns, but by the time I played and finished it, they were gone.
Impossible to get.
Yeah.
The other item that I have is a GBA Micro. That is the Famicom like themed gold one that I imported from Japan. It's still in the box, but
I know it's an Xbox show. It's a shame I don't think there's a whole lot of these on the Nintendo side. There are definitely in the handhelds. Like on the consoles, you just get like colors.
There was the red Wii, which I
colors.
Liked. Colors.
Yeah, the Pikachu 64 in Japan. That was kind of cool.
I liked the translucent 64s, the colored, like the candy shell colored one. You have a green one, I think.
I have the one from Japan. It's ice blue.
Oh, you have the blue. I
It's
like
blue. The top shell's blue, and the bottom shell's like ice, like gray.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like the Spice Orange GameCube that was only released in Japan. And I have
Nice.
thought many times about importing it because I love that thing so much.
Yep.
Nintendo's,
On the Xbox side, they've had R2D2. They've had tons of Gears ones.
I never bought a special
Tons of
edition.
Halo ones.
I never bought a special edition Xbox console. The translucent green original Xbox is up there for me for the Xbox. I love that thing. It's so green.
That Minecraft one that they did was pretty
I liked
awesome.
the Minecraft one.
I forgot about that one. I just typed it in and I was like, oh yeah.
They did a lot. I just never owned any of them.
Some of them though, they've done a lot of them, you're right. But I don't think all of them are that good though.
No, they're boring to me.
Like most of the Halo ones, I think leave a lot to be desired on the customization front. The R2D2 one was dope.
The problem that I have with most of them is, and even the PS4, is that most of the good stuff on the design is on the top. So when it's facing you in an entertainment console, unless you stand it up, you don't really get to enjoy how the designs look for the most part. The R2D2 one just looks good. Like
the Halo 5 ones I'm not into. The Call of Duty ones I'm not into.
It's boring.
The Halo 3 limited edition looks a lot like the Elite controller does. I mean, that's good. It's not.
Boring.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good it's not like the new one. Like the new console is.
I agree that it looks
killer.
great. I
They
just don't know
nailed
that
it.
I just don't know that I could look at it after all this crap.
I usually love everything Gears, but like the 360 Gears ones,
They were bad.
They're not good.
I actually don't often buy special editions of consoles. I will do handhelds because I get to enjoy the design when I'm holding the thing in my hands. But consoles, I kind of like when everything in my entertainment center sort of matches. I'm just like that. I'm just boring.
I typically customize my own
Right.
because the companies don't make the designs that I would want.
Sure. That's legitimate.
I like loud, colorful things, and I usually like games that I'm very fond of. So most of my consoles are shrouded in Suda stuff or Zelda stuff, or like the Fable wrap that I put on my Series X and my controller that I got from Xbox Bob. I mean, I've wanted a Fable themed anything for
For a long time, right?
15 years.
Yeah.
It's been by far like my favorite Xbox franchise for a very, very long time. So I was just happy. It's not even my favorite design. I think the design looks a lot better in person. Like my pictures of the design look better than the company's pictures of the design.
Yeah, I agree.
But even it's not even. It's like it's brown, but like
Right.
I still really, really like it because it's Fable.
I have a tendency with consoles to just buy really loud controllers. The Forza one, like the blue that I ordered. I have like I said, I imported the Monster Hunter World Red PlayStation controller. I have this like bright purple PlayStation. I tend to go controllers for consoles because then I get to have a little bit of everything. And I leave my consoles standard because I don't want to keep trading and transferring. It's just annoying to me.
Now on the controller side, Xbox has killed it. And it has
I
killed
think
it
have
for
better
some
controllers.
time.
They have better controllers.
I mean, they have dominated the controller market. I think the Forza controller's my favorite. I think my previous one was probably the Sea of Thieves one.
For the Xbox controllers, I agree. For controllers in general, I actually really like that yellow translucent Death Stranding PS4 controller a lot. I really love that controller. I like the Last of Us 2 controller. I like the fern design.
Did you?
I did like it.
I didn't like the words being put all over the
like
controller.
it. I like it personally. It's subtle, but I like that. And I love that Monster Hunter one. It's so red. It's got a freaking dragon on it.
Yeah, the Sea of Thieves one always comes to mind because they just
that.
it glowed in the dark and it's purple and green. I'm like that was a
Purple and
really
green.
great special edition controller.
I own that and I love it.
The Gears controllers were good.
I have
The Elite
Gears-
and the plastic one, they've got like
I have the 5.
like claws marks through them and you can like feel them and stuff like that. I think those are good. The Halo 5 ones.
I own
No.
I own the Gears one that has the blue triggers.
Yeah,
Cat one.
so
I like
got the
that
same
one a lot. That one's good. I love that one.
They did the Toon Squad, the Space Jam ones.
Those are too much for me personally. Like she says after ordering the Forza one, I know. But if I'm
telling
gonna
you-
go loud, I like the Forza kind of loud, techno loud, not.
They should sell this Halo limited edition controller separately.
I agree.
This controller is amazing. It's beautiful.
I would buy the controller.
I'd be totally down for them to go with like a black and gold marketing scheme. Like, this works for Xbox real well. This looks real good.
I like it better than the green.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm
Sorry,
watching
not
this console. I'm just like, oh my god. Like, and that's
Sorry, not
half the
sorry.
reason I'm even entertaining trying to get one for Jack.
Right.
Because it's like, I'd like to just kind of have one.
Yeah, the controller's beautiful. I
Not
like
even
it.
Halo. It looks so good though.
I'm going to piggyback RD93's question right off of this since we're talking about hardware. Question for the show. Do you think the Xbox will do a limited edition Starfield one next? If not, what game coming out later do you think will get one? I don't think Starfield gets one. I don't think it does. I think it's space is boring and not iconic enough. Also, it's a new IP. I don't know that you go with hardware for a brand new IP. Right? Cyberpunk was a dice roll, and I don't think it was a good one. And I think they learned. Right. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't. You're probably right, but I don't think it's out of the question.
No, but I think
only because Xbox does a lot of these.
Yes, but also they're still having chip shortages and issues.
No, I'm with you.
With this crap,
I'm with you.
So,
I would have said the same thing about this one.
I didn't expect this.
Everybody kept telling me, they're like, but it's Halo, and I'm like, I know, but they're doing it.
My mind. Oof.
So and they nailed it. But
next game,
I think
you're
probably right. You're probably right. They probably won't do one for that one.
They don't do a ton. I think the next game that gets one is Gears. That's what I think. Whenever Gears comes out, will be the next one that.
I'd have to look at their roadmap again. I'm not exactly sure where everything kind of falls in because I think Gears is going to be a while.
I know, but I don't think they have anything else that's like they've done special editions for Gears and Halo and Cyberpunk in the last.
Starfield will probably get a controller. I feel like every major release gets a controller.
But I think it's going to be Gears, and it's pretty far out. But I don't see
Motorsport?
another game. They've never done one for Forza, and if they were going to do that, they would have done one for this Forza.
They've done controllers though, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like every Forza, I think.
Isn't this the first controller?
No. They've definitely done Forza controllers before.
Okay.
I think Motorsport, whatever the one was on Xbox, had I can see the controller had like little racing stripes, like silver and red and stuff.
Oh, right. You're right.
Yeah, I think this is the first Horizon one.
Yes.
I think Motorsport's gotten it.
I don't think they're going to do a console for Motorsport.
I don't think so either. I'm trying to think.
I really think it's Gears. I really do. Which I think means they'll keep this Halo one in the rotation for a while, personally.
Ooh. Okay, I'm looking at it like a roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an opinion yet whether or not I think yay or nay, but let's read. I'm going to read you 3 games.
Okay.
Hellblade.
That could go either way. I would say no, personally. I would say they don't do a console for it, maybe a controller.
Perfect Dark.
That's a bigger maybe. That one I lean
that's
more
the
towards
initiative,
yes.
right?
That one I lean more towards yes because that's a huge deal.
That's their new big studio and all that.
Maybe, but what's the third one?
There's a dark horse. Avowed.
No, I don't think they go there because it's a single IP and it's new. I really think they got burned on this Cyberpunk thing, and I don't know that they're going to go back on it.
I mean, I think they sold them, so I don't think.
Yeah, but I don't know that.
It's interesting. I think Hellblade probably could get one, especially like with Hellblade 2's like Nordic influence. I think they could do, a very simple-ish God of War-esque kind of symbols type design on a console. Well, it depends, obviously, when it comes and how much stuff they have in it.
When you look at the history of their special editions, though, with the exception of Call of Duty, they haven't done third-party. I know that this is technically their studio now.
Yeah, but they own them now.
But they've leaned on known franchises that have a history.
True.
For special editions, and
they also launched the Series X with a shot of Hellblade.
Sure, they did, but they launched it with Halo on the box too.
Yeah.
So, and we finally are getting that console. But I would say Fable has a shot, and Gears has a shot.
Don't give me hope.
I really think that Gears will get the next console. I really just
Gears always gets a console.
Gears
so
is gonna
I'd be upset if Gears did get a console. Gears will get a console, they'll get an Elite controller, and they'll get 2 or 3 variations.
I am curious to see who gets the first Series S special.
Yeah, Jack was actually upset that there wasn't a Halo Series S.
I wish there was a special Series S because that I'm more inclined to because I don't own it yet.
I think Avowed, if it's what we're led to believe, what we've been told it is, if it's like this big Skyrim-esque type thing, I think that's the type of game that if it's like showing really well and they're really proud of it, I think that's the type of game that you could give it like a boost by giving a special edition. But I would agree with you, and I would say Perfect Dark. Dark, I could almost I'd almost bet on Perfect Dark.
I mean, best chance. I still think they tend towards releasing controllers and really holding on to Halo
you're right.
Gears for their consoles.
You're
and
absolutely
I think
right.
I think that's safe, and I think that's what they're going to continue doing.
Perfect Dark and Joanna has long history with people. I think there's lots of people that'll just sign up to buy a Joanna Dark console.
I do. I think it's the best chance of anything before Gears. I would agree with that. That's a good point. We have one more question. We'll hit this really quick. Jeremy asks, what did you think about Vanguard? Do you have thoughts about this? I do not.
Yeah, no, I think Vanguard looks great. I hate that it's, kind of in the climate and under the scuttlebutt that it is.
Yeah, we've discussed.
I've liked Call of Duty for a long time, but I think they've nailed, it looks... So Call of Duty has been killing it basically since the Modern Warfare in 2020.
Agree.
So we've had Modern Warfare, and then we had Cold War, and now we have Vanguard. And in our chat, Dev and a few other people were like, God, aren't we done with the World War II stuff? And it's like, is nobody else done with the modern, futuristic Destiny space shooters? We've got 1,000 of those, too.
It's Call of Duty is always going to move units. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't like what you see, it doesn't matter. People are going to do what I said they'll do for Halo and buy it just to play multiplayer.
I like the historical aspect. I like the fact that you're playing as Soviet. That's a little new. It's a little different. So I think that's cool. But I think just visually, I think it was very impressive. Call of Duty always plays great. I think they've nailed what a shooter is. Like, they are the default for what shooting in a video game is.
They are basically the gold standard to me.
Yeah.
It always feels like it. You feel like it should. Even if I'm bad at it, it feels like it should. I'm glad we discussed it in the main show. I just wanted to loop back on the question just to let Jeremy know we saw his question. We did hit this, but I'm also glad it gave us an opportunity to touch on the Activision stuff, because I think we are remiss in not discussing what's going on in the day.
Yeah, I think that's the prudent thing to do. If you're covering the game, if you're talking about a review, if you're giving your opinion on the company, just bring it up. I honestly think you could do more with that than you can by boycotting. Just every time. I wish if every review of Call of Duty included a synopsis, here's what the hell's going on in Activision, that would be perfect. That's way more important than anything else. Yeah, that'd be very powerful.
I think there should be an open discussion about this stuff, and Donnie and I haven't gone into the huge details about the lawsuit and all the stuff going on, but Google it if you don't know. If for some reason you live under a rock and are listening to this podcast but don't know what's happening with that company, just educate yourself and then make a purchasing decision. And it doesn't have to be... The vote with your wallet thing is not necessarily about putting a financial hit on a company. It's going to be very hard with Activision to do that. It's more about pulling the morals that you feel strongly about and standing by them. And so when we both end up playing this game, understand we're not giving them money to do it. That's the decision Donnie and I have made about how to handle it. And I'll do the same with Diablo 2 as well. I think it's important to, when you deal with any industry and any product as a consumer, to spend the time deciding where you morally stand on things and then acting accordingly. That's
who you want to support.
And that's just so you sleep at night, feel good about the decisions you make, even if it's not about burning it all down and costing the money. It's more about your personal moral choices here.
And we don't have to do an hour here, but I also think, it's, since we're talking about it, it's a tricky situation. Because there's lots of different ways that you can look at it, and there's lots of things that oppose one another.
Yes.
And that's what makes this hard. You can say somebody, and none of them are wrong. Let's be clear up front. None of them are wrong. But you can say, I don't like what they're doing to their employees. And these people have these claims that look like they're very founded.
They're founded and bad. There's a lot of evidence.
Lots of evidence. They're real bad. And so therefore I'm not going to support them. That's fine, but I also think that you're not supporting the people that aren't doing those things that work there, which there are 100 times more of them. As we talked, a lot of people are really upset with Activision. Another reason to be upset with Activision.
So.
They've got 10 developers that are all just working on Call of Duty now. Toys for Bob is working on Call of Duty now.
They pulled everyone for Call of Duty because that's their cash cow.
That's the thing, right? So they've got...
That sucks.
Thousands of people working on Call of Duty. Now, I'm not saying that the Activision issue is a minor issue, but I guarantee you that not all of those people are doing those things.
Well, the other point to make is that your money going to a game also supports those people's jobs and health insurance. And there is a flip side to the conversation about voting with your wallet. And it's like, crap, who suffers here? Who gets laid off
and then,
when the company doesn't do well? The people who are getting
people that
also
make the
abused.
game.
So it's very tricky. There's nuance to this conversation.
Yeah, because they're not going to lay off the CEO unless the government tells them to do it. He's the one that's raking in billion-dollar bonuses every year. He's just going to fire everybody so he can keep his bonus.
Exactly, or then hire contractors that he can then abuse. So there's a conversation of nuance here, even with the vote with your wallet conversation that I kind of I'm not telling anyone how to make a decision. You have to sleep at night at the end of the day.
Now, Josh enlightened me that apparently several of the Activision employees have supported those that choose not to buy the stuff, which...
I've seen some tweets.
Yeah, which is, again, it's great. It goes...
Right.
That's the thing. You can skin this cat a bunch of different ways depending how you want to do it. And I think it's just do whatever you think makes you feel best about it. Just don't tell other people what they should be doing.
And understand that there is nuance to this that makes not one decision the only decision.
Exactly.
As per most things. But
I do think it would be really cool if we could collectively strike for like a month. That would be great.
Right.
It's like nobody buy Call of Duty for 4 weeks because that would hurt.
That would hurt, but that's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
And the people who are going to get laid off are not going to be the people that you want to get laid off. So
those are the people that you want to support.
I'm not telling anybody what to do. I've told you what I'm choosing to do for my own moral compass, and I'm telling you what to educate yourself on to make a decision for your.
I'm telling you what I'm choosing to do, so you don't think that I'm lying to you. So you don't yell at me later when I'm playing Call of Duty.
And I will tweet this when you see me playing it again and say I redboxed it.
I wish every streamer that streamed the game put a little click link and a support, I think a disclaimer. I think that's public shaming goes a long way in a media market. It's very powerful. And I hope there was a lot of talk of I heard Jeff on his podcast, he was talking about, should we cover this? Should we not cover it? Like, is covering it, you're still providing press and stuff to them. And so there's been a lot of talk, like, what if the IGNs and the VentureBeats and stuff, what if they just don't review the game?
Well, and I'm like, here's the problem. It's still Call of Duty. Everyone already knows what they're getting. Their purchasing decisions are not made on those reviews. So review the game, but put the disclaimer up.
See, that's my point. It's like, don't not review the game, because now in my opinion, you're missing an opportunity to inform and raise awareness. Now you're burying it, kind of.
Put the story with the review.
Put it at the top. I'd put little banners at the top, in the middle, by the score, like all over the damn place.
Click these links. Here's the bullets of what's going on. Click this link for more information. Here's our review. And I think, if you don't cover a game like Call of Duty and don't review it, 90% of the people who purchase Call of Duty, I would even go so far as to say 95, are not making a purchasing decision based on a review anymore. It doesn't matter.
I think you're right.
And so you want to get
but I do know that those reviews do hella traffic though too. So
because
those
people
are
like to be vindicated for their
those
purchase.
are those big site things.
So cover it. And put the disclaimer on it and shove it in their face.
Because most people aren't clicking that link. And that's the thing, right? Like, the thing with the Activision issue is that there are millions of us that are aware of what's going on, that follow this space.
Yes.
But we're like 2% of their market.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the thing. And there are millions of us, but they're not that many millions of us.
I think Diablo is actually will be more impacted, because the people in our space are, like, the common player does not pick up Diablo 2. It's not as, you know what I mean? So there's more of us having this conversation where if Diablo 2 got boycotted by a lot of people, they would feel that for that.
I think they might.
And they might. For Call of Duty, you're not going to affect it that way.
You're throwing a rock at a wave. You're not going to do anything. It's better to
shove it up front to the people who
and
like how good it is.
If it's 10% less, they'll blame everything else but
COVID.
That.
They'll blame COVID.
They'll blame COVID. They'll blame Battlefield. They'll blame Halo. They'll blame anything but that.
Yeah.
And then they'll make hiring decisions based off of that.
Yep.
And that's also awful.
So there's no good. It's actually the true conversation here is there is no good answer in this situation. It sucks because money trickles down in companies like that, and the people who will be most affected are the ones making the game and getting abused. So it's difficult. It's so hard.
That's interesting. Kaiju in the chat, he says, I thought Call of Duty looked odd. Halo is going for a stylized look, but Vanguard is sort of generic looking. I think they should take it in a better direction.
Interesting. I think they go with that hyper realistic look, and I think for them that's their look.
I think some people didn't like the some of the people did not like the color saturation wash.
Oh.
Like the orange and the red skies and everything. Like, to me, that was very World War II.
I like that, yeah.
I was like, you put yourself in Stalingrad with German or with British bombers bombing in the
Yeah.
entire city on fire. Have you seen the pictures of Australia last
Yeah.
year when it was on fire? Like, it was really
Yeah.
orange.
It was. I think
It's
that
kind
was
of what it
actually,
looks like.
they like I said, they go for hyper realism. That's hyper realistic for the scene. I think they do a good research for that stuff too. Unfortunately, I mean,
have
they do a good job.
This is completely random. They have the best fire
Oh
animations. Like Call of Duty has the best fire animations in video. Like I always give Naughty Dog credit. They have the best water. Naughty Dog's
Yes,
water is
I
better than
agree.
everybody else's water.
It's
Call of
very good.
Duty's fire might be better than everybody else's fire.
Their fire and their gun models and the kickback on each individual weapon. Like I said, they do great things. It's just unfortunate.
They also
what's
do
going on.
awful things.
They also do shitty things, and there's no other way
really,
to say that.
really awful things.
So, like, again, make your purchasing decisions. Do what suits your moral compass, because it's yours at the end of the day.
Yep, and we
That doesn't
support you.
belong
We
to me.
support all of you. I support
Any
Josh.
choice-
I support Elaine. I support myself. Everybody.
Whatever choice we make is the choice we make, but make your choice on your moral compass, not on what you feel like you should do or what someone else tells you to do. And that should apply to the rest of your life as well. So there's your life lesson from Elaine for the week.
Thanks, Mom.
All right, here's $1 for the ice cream truck. Now get out. Mom's gonna watch her programs now. All right, I think that's gonna do it for this week, right?
good.
Did we hit everything? All right, so let's hit a big thank you to our Patreon on-air producers. I'm gonna run the names, but thank you to everybody who supports at any level on Patreon, who supports with retweets or hangs out in the Discord. We appreciate all of you. If you want to catch us on social media, I'm ET Dragon on Twitter. He's Eat the Hype, or come hang in the Discord. Those things will not change when the new show kicks off. They will all
We've
be the
had
same.
several folks sign up for the Patreon since we announced PSVG. If you signed up for a tier to be read aloud and your name hasn't been read aloud yet, it's because I did find out earlier this week that for whatever reason my Patreon stuff was in my spam.
Oh,
So I need to comb through everybody and reset, which I usually do at the end of the month. So I've been waiting for PSVG to launch to kind of reset it. So don't feel bad. Like, we're going to get you in there.
You are not missed. You are loved
Yeah.
and appreciated. I deeply appreciate everybody who supports us here. Like I
I logged in to
times.
post an episode. We dropped 2 episodes on Patreon this week, and they have a little notification bubble.
You're
And there was
like,
like
"Oh, no."
6 notifications. I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then I
no,
looked
yeah.
and it was like, here's a subscriber, here's a subscriber. I was like, I didn't know any of these people had subscribed. So yeah, I just gotta go through it one good hard time.
So we're gonna clean that up. Don't worry. Don't get your
Yep.
panties in a twist. We appreciate you, and you are acknowledged. And thank you for your support. Let me read the names we do have, and then it'll evolve. So here we go: Michael Masick, Edwin Callow, Stephen Keller, Nick Creature, Ben Moxham, Nick Fallhaber, Paul Calicote, Kyle Heyman, Devin Tyus, Josh Borbone, R.J. Kern, HorseGirl69, Zach Adams, Joe Wilson, and AJ Pentecost. Thank you, y'all. Thank you. And thank you to everybody just who retweets or gets at us on social. It's pretty good. It's been good. One more episode of Empire next week, and then we're kicking off Play Some Video Games. So follow us to the new show, but you get one more of this. One more
I'm
of this.
excited.
One more of this random cast. I'm excited too. Is that everything, Donnie?
That's it.
All right, guys. Until next week, play some video games.
Good night, folks.